In this hand, I have ground beef, and in this hand, I have peas. Some people think, hey, same. There's protein in both. However, the protein in beef and peas is not the same. The protein in animal foods, including milk, shrimp, chicken, mahi-mahi, yogurt, eggs, cod, cheese, disgusting oysters, pork, sardines, and beef, the protein in animal foods is considered quality, bioavailable, complete proteins, meaning that these proteins in the animal foods contain all of the amino acids that the body needs and has to obtain from diet. The protein in animal foods is considered bioavailable because it's the most easily absorbable and digestible form of protein that the body uses. Whereas plant-based proteins, including all legumes, so lentils, chickpeas, all nuts and seeds, including chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, tempeh, edamame, all vegetables, all fruit that has protein, their protein is considered incomplete protein because it's missing one or more of the essential amino acids that the body needs. Now, this doesn't mean that plant-based proteins are bad and should be avoided. It just means that, they're inferior proteins that you have to mix and match to make them complete proteins. Plus, you have to eat a lot of them to get similar amounts of protein. So for example, 1 cup of peas has 8 grams of protein. 1 cup of ground beef has 62 grams of protein. And that protein in the animal foods is going to be more bioavailable and absorbable for the body to use. Again, this doesn't mean plant-based proteins are bad, but I would just focus more when it comes to protein on the animal proteins first. And then if someone has, plant proteins, then these are just a bonus. Like, hey, I got peas in my house right now. I'm not a pea hater, but I'm gonna make the bulk of my protein, the bulk of my nutrition coming from the ground beef. And then I can have some peas on the side as just like flavor and a bonus protein. If you're new to the channel, my name's Lillie. I'm a certified nutrition health coach, and in today's video, we are going to cover the protein weight loss hack that I use with my clients to help them reach their weight loss goals. Now, before I get to the punchline, I've got to address just real quickly, why does it matter in the first place for us to even care about protein in the context of weight loss? Research shows humans will continue to keep eating until they've had enough protein for the day. So if I eat a salad low in protein, and then I eat a donut low in protein, and then I eat an apple low in protein, my body is going to urge me to keep consuming calories until it's had enough protein. So if someone tells me they can't stop eating sugar, my first thought is they're not eating enough protein. Because just like if you've ever been to an all-you-can-eat buffet and you've eaten as much as you wanted, you're trying to make your money's worth, right? So you keep eating and your buttons popping off your pants, you're so full when you leave that buffet, that if then I walked up to you and I said, hey, would you like a cookie? You'd be like, okay, Lillie, that looks great, but please just come back to me in an hour. If I eat that right now, I'm gonna throw up, right? So I would like to get people stuffed on protein so that way they're not tempted to need tons of desserts and snacks and different kinds of sweet treats and things. If someone's eating out of boredom or eating because they're stressed, well, if I fill you up on enough protein, then you're gonna have to find something else to do when you're bored or something else to occupy yourself when you're stressed. A quick message from our sponsor, Thrive Market. If you've never heard of Thrive before, it's kind of like an Amazon, but for health-conscious people, where they have organic meats and seafood, different high-quality protein snacks. They even have things like non-toxic bathroom essentials and different clean ingredient products for the household. In our last order, we got dishwasher detergent tablets, we got laundry detergent, shampoo, our dental floss, sponges, ghee, and mustard. How it works is you go on their website, pick out the items that you want, and then it's shipped to your door. Again, it's very similar to Amazon in the sense that they do have a yearly membership fee. However, Thrive's yearly membership fee is way less money than Amazon's. Thrive's fee is only $60 for the year. I feel kind of silly even mentioning that because I've saved money every time I've ordered with them. I saved $72 on my very first order. Plus, if you don't end up saving $60 by the end of the year, then Thrive will credit you back the difference. So to me, there's really no downside to using Thrive Thrive. And if you use the link in the video description, you'll get 30% off your first order plus a free gift up to $60. Again, there's a link in the description, or you can go to the URL thrivemarket.com/Lillie Kane to get that 30% off plus the free gift up to $60. So how much protein should somebody be eating? Now, my rule of thumb is to aim for 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of ideal body weight. So if someone would like to weigh 140 pounds, I'd aim to eat about 140 grams of protein. Again, this is the amount someone would like to weigh, not the weight that someone currently weighs. It's the weight that, like, okay, ideally in a perfect world, my goal weight, that's the number I'd aim to eat in grams of protein. The 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight is often a good starting place for people. Some people do better with a lot more protein, others do better with less, but this is usually a good place to aim for initially, and you can taper up and down depending on how you feel. To use me as an example, I'm 115 pounds, 5 foot 2 inches tall, and I eat, well, I tracked my food today and it said I had 165 grams of protein. So I tend to definitely be above my ideal body weight, but it usually just happens because protein's delicious. Now, a mistake I often see people make, they will take the meat, weigh it on a scale and go, oh, I'd like to weigh 140 pounds. My meat weighs 140 grams. Therefore, I'm getting in 140 grams of protein. And that's not the case. The meat has water in it. It has fat in it. It has other things in it weighing it down. That, for example, when I weigh 140 grams of ground beef, that's 35 grams of protein. So I'm not saying to aim to eat 1 gram of meat per pound of ideal body weight. I'm saying aim to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight, because meat isn't just protein. It has different things in it weighing it down. And so in order to figure out how much protein's in the meat, you just kind of have to type it into Google. For example, if I'm having chicken breast and it says it's 180 grams of chicken breast, I would just type into Google how much protein's in 180 grams of chicken breast. Now, I made a protein cheat sheet that you can download and have. That way you don't have to look up constantly how much protein's in the meat that you're having, as this cheat sheet will show you how much protein's in chicken breast and chicken thighs and brisket and bacon and eggs and cheese and yogurt and cottage cheese. And it covers pretty much all the different animal foods and how much protein's in them. So if you'd like that, in the video description, you'll find a link to my newsletter that I'm trying to send out every Saturday. So again, you'll find a link to put your email in my newsletter in the video description. Now, the simplest protein hack I suggest with clients is aim to eat 1 pound of meat, 4 eggs, and 1 to 2 cups of dairy every day. If someone doesn't tolerate dairy, I'd have more eggs. If someone doesn't tolerate eggs, I'd have more meat. And this meat can be chicken, beef, lamb, any fish, seafood, and so any kind of meat combination, plus the dairy can be any kind of cottage cheese, sour cream, milk, kefir, yogurt, regular cheese. So that is just any combination of the meats, any combination of the dairy to hit those baseline minimums. If someone's hungrier, by all means, have more, but often this is a good starting place that covers a lot of people's protein needs. And keep in mind, this is me just giving a very easy, super simple way to conceptualize how much protein to eat, because I'm sure some people can be fine having 12 ounces of meat and 2 eggs, and they could probably still hit their protein needs. But just for like a very blanket statement, easy to understand and comprehend, a pound of meat, 4 eggs, a cup of dairy, me saying that makes me feel very confident that that's going to cover a lot of people's protein needs. If I can get a client doing that, then if they want to have some fruits and some veggies and other things, then I'm like, okay, knock yourself out. But I first want to make sure that you're hitting your protein. Some moms are like, eat your veggies. I'm over here like, eat your protein or no dessert. And you can make a protein-rich dessert. You can make ice cream that's very protein-packed, or a milkshake with a protein powder scoop in there, or I will do yogurt and I'll put some collagen in there, or you could do like protein cookies. So there's ways to have a healthy, protein-rich dessert. If you want it, you got it. Come to my house, I'll give you some protein dessert. Now, if we really want to get in the weeds here, I would typically suggest half of the meat is ground beef, or frankly, any kind of beef, whether that's brisket, chuck roast, steaks, ribeyes, ground beef, any kind of beef, because with the other meat options, and I'm talking chicken, shrimp, salmon, sardines, cod, mahi-mahi, venison, elk, bison, a lot of other animal meats tend to be very high in protein and low in fats and carbs. Now, I'm not going to go too much in detail in this video, as I made a whole video here where I talk about why I don't want my protein so high in comparison to my fats and carbs, because fats and carbs are our energy source. And so if my protein's so high and my energy macronutrients, fats and carbs, are so low, I'm likely going to feel pretty low energy and tired and irritable and cranky. My hormones might become out of balance because, yes, I'm hitting that protein, beautiful, but my fats and or carbs are so low that I could run into issues. So I'm not going to, again, go into too much detail on that, but essentially for simplicity, I would have at least half of my meat coming from beef that has more fat. And then I'd pick one of these options on the list that you can see on the screen where it shows the different lean meat options. The other part of the meat can also be beef, but otherwise I personally would never do like a pound of lean meat in a day, a pound of chicken, a pound of shrimp, because it's just too lean and doesn't have enough fats and or carbs with it that I could run into having low energy and feeling cranky. I'm sure some people are like, what, a pound of meat, 4 eggs, and a cup of dairy? That is so much food. I could never eat all of that. And I also felt that way at one point myself. At one point, I was eating very little, and so I had to kind of train my metabolism to slowly eat more. I was eating, let's say, half a pound of beef and an egg. And so I said, okay, I'm going to start having half a pound of beef and 2 eggs. And I'm going to be consistent with that for a couple of weeks. Now I'm going to have 3/4 of a pound of meat and 2 eggs and stay consistent with that. Then I bumped it up to now the pound of meat, 2 eggs, and I stayed consistent. So over several weeks, over several months, I was able to boost my metabolism and eat more food. So I don't want people to think that, oh my gosh, overnight, I need to be stuffing myself with all this food, which, you know, frankly, it's actually on paper, on calories, it's not that much food depending on how you mix and match it. Of course, someone could do a very lean meat. They're doing just oysters, and they're doing a very lean dairy. They're doing cottage cheese. Or someone could be doing a fatty meat like brisket and a fatty dairy like heavy cream. And therefore, the calories could be anywhere from 1,300 to 2,000 calories. So it really depends on how people mix and match it. But regardless, it's not that much food. To use me as an example, I eat at least a pound of meat, the eggs, 3 cups of dairy, and I'll have some fruits. I'll have maybe some veggies or olive oil on top. And yeah, I mean, I easily hit all of this, though, like I said, it can take some people some time to train their metabolism to eat more, to get in more protein. And I do offer one-on-one coaching where I help train people to increase their food intake. I answer your guys' questions. I create meal plans. And so if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I'll leave a link to that in the video description. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.